I've been thinking all week on that one. I've been like, how the fuck do you explain Big Fish without going like, it's fantastical Forrest Gump? Hi, welcome to ABC's Film, where we watch movies that have won the Best Picture award at the Oscars. But this week we are watching a movie that I chose. It is Big Fish from 2003. So, Big Fish is the story of a man whose father tells tall tales. Throughout his entire life, his father has just taken over any kind of occasion by blabbering on about these, like, really fantastic stories with, like, mermaids and werewolves. And growing up, the boy becomes really annoyed at his dad for always sort of hogging the limelight with all of this stuff that he's just made up. Later on in his life, when his dad's dying, he decides to review all of the stories that his dad has told him and just try and figure out who his dad actually is, as opposed to who this fantastical character is that his dad's invented.
And as strange as his stories got, the endings were always the most surprising of all.
So, Alex, what did you think of Big Fish?
It was alright.
Yeah?
It wasn't great.
I thought you'd be a bit middling on it, because it's
one of those films, I think, where what it's about is more interesting than actually watching it. I think the themes that it's kind of threw up, I've been thinking about like the conclusion that it comes to and the themes that it throws up more than I actually enjoyed watching the film at the time.
Right.
I think it's very twee and very 90s.
It is very twee, and it's very, very melodramatic, which is why I thought you'd be like middling on it.
They say when you meet the love of your life, time stops. And that's true.
I think it works because, like, as this guy's thinking about the stories of that his dad told, you see them, like, happen. So, but because of that element, it can be melodramatic because it is stories that somebody's told, I think, which is why, like, it really works for me. Because you can just, like, use every trick in the book to try and make somebody cry.
I think it's a really interesting kind of conflation of what like filmmaking is, because filmmaking is just telling stories about stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what people do when they tell stories about their life. It's not necessarily like the complete and honest truth about things that have happened to them.
Yeah.
It's always kind of shaded through their own personal experience and what they want you to believe and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And this is just like a more extreme version of that.
Well, since I had no intention of ever returning to Ashton, this seemed as good a time as any to find out what lay down that old road.
You know anyone who's taken it?
That poet Norther Winslow did. He was going to Paris, France. I guess he liked it. No one ever heard from him again.
Like that.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, the concept of I really like. Yeah. I enjoy thinking about, because that's the kind of thing I do as well. When someone tells me, oh, what have you done today? I'll be like, oh, I spoke to a pigeon. I do that sometimes in my messages and stuff, you know? Do you know, like that time we found a seagull impaled on...
That you killed?
Yeah, exactly. The seagull that I killed. But like,
We didn't kill a seagull.
No. We found a seagull impaled on a fence, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was I lifted it off and it kind of hobbled off.
Yeah.
But when we talk about it, we're always like, the seagull has told its friends that I tried to kill it, and the seagulls are always coming back and watching us going, you killed our friend. Yeah. And it's like, that's just kind of an extension, or it's the same kind of thing of what Albert Finney's character, who plays the dad in this, is doing. He's telling stories to make the past more interesting. Yeah. You know?
And he's, it's the whole, I caught a fish, it was this big.
Yeah.
You would have told it wrong anyway. All the facts, none of the flavor.
Oh. So this is a tall tale.
See, I think it's Tim Burton's best film.
Better than Edward Scissorhands. I got you there, haven't I?
Well, see, Edward Scissorhands is amazing, but it does drag a little bit in the middle.
I've never been a massive Tim Burton fan.
I mean, like, overall.
So,
Like, I much prefer, like, the designs in Beetlejuice and, like, the music in Edward Scissorhands. But, like, overall, I think this is his best film.
This has some stellar performances in it. Albert Finney is fantastic.
Yeah. He's really good.
In terms of acting talent, I think this is, like, spot on. And like I said when I was watching it, Ewan McGregor is so bloody attractive. And I just want to kiss him.
It's like, I love, with Albert Finney, there's a scene where he's telling a story about parrots.
Yeah.
How they only speak French in, like, Morocco or something. And it turns out that the woman he's telling this fantastic story to was in Morocco.
Yeah.
And he just sort of looks forward and goes,
yeah.
So you know.
It's fantastic.
Like, and it's just really well delivered.
Josephine actually went to the Congo last year.
Oh, so you know.
I'm still kind of torn on the central message of the film, though. I do feel like Albert Finney's character could have been a bit more honest, because when his son was basically saying to him, like, I feel like you've never told me a true thing in your life, you know, and he's still like, Albert Finney's character has still failed to tell his son, like, the absolute straight truth, even when his son asked him, and it's kind of like, you're still being a bit of a dick.
They seem like two kind of different people, don't they? Like, the Edward Bloom in the stories seems like this cool guy that you'd want to hang around with, but the Edward Bloom, like Albert Finney,
he's a little bit crotchety.
You're just like, I don't want to hang around with this guy. He just, like, everything.
He just tells lies and makes
sense.
Yeah,
you're
up.
Just kind of like, oh shit, I really need a coffee, and he'd be like, coffee? I remember when I was grinding coffee with Kaiser Soze.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like if I was his son, I'd have got really pissed off with him after 30 years of that shit. You know,
but this is the first time that I've ever gotten that. Yeah. I've seen this film quite a lot, and usually I'm just like, oh, he's such a cool guy. But this time watching it, maybe it's just because I was thinking about it.
You imagine if it was his dad, if that was your dad, that'd be so annoying.
Or it might just be because I know people who are like that now, and I hadn't before.
Yeah.
It's like watching it now, I'm just like, oh god, I know what that's like.
You know about icebergs, Dad?
Do I? I saw an iceberg once. They were hauling it down to Texas for drinking water. They didn't count on there being an elephant frozen inside.
This is shot really well. I liked a lot of the cinematography in this. I think it's lit quite well. I like the establishing shots they do of, is it the town of Pleasance? Or Patience? Is it Patience or something like that?
Spectre.
Is it Spectre?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, the establishing shot of the town, I like, where it goes over the main street and there's like...
Yeah, and then you've got the shoes and that, yeah.
It's all done really well. And I think it's the exact same shot they do with the circus, where it pans up over the circus.
Oh, I never noticed that, but it is. I can see them. I can see them both in my mind.
You've seen it so many times. You don't remember. Like, I like a lot of that stuff. I think like a lot of the scenes with the giant to like establish the kind of the height of the guy. It's shot really well.
Tim Burton is remarkably good at using colour.
Absolutely, yes.
But he very rarely does it in his films.
Every frame's a painting, isn't it?
That's what. Yeah, I've always equated that phrase to Tim Burton.
Yeah.
But like this and Big Eyes as well, they're like movies he's done that aren't these dark things. Or like even Edward Scissorhands most of the time is light. Yeah. He's really good at using like bright colours.
Daffodils.
They're your favourite flower.
Anyway, that was our discussion on Big Fish. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit like and subscribe. Bell icon does something. I've never bell icon something.
It notifies you of our videos.
No, I've never bell icon something. Like, I'm pretty good with notifications on YouTube. I don't tend to miss it.
I just go to my subscriptions.
That's what I do.
I don't like, oh shit, he's got a new video out. It's just like, just check my
I look on the panel on the left and it just has a little 1 next to people. Or like if it's Jim Sterling, it'll be 4.
I hate it when they've liked a video.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, so-and-so like this video.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, because I think, oh, Nine Inch Nails got a new video out or something. And
no, it's just, oh, they liked a video. Fucking Amanda Palmer.
Every night I bring her Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches. Oh, my baby loves those Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches. I try to win her with candy, ice cream and custard. But how she likes hot dogs with mustard.